Welcome back. I'm Andrew from Infinite Light, and I upgraded my Avata drone without any soldering experience. I had this Avata ever since it came out, or maybe about a month now. And coming from the FPV drone to the Avata, I could feel this Avata was underpowered. I mean, it's much smaller, so what do you expect? It was just too weak. It would have a hard time climbing and getting out to places. It was okay, but it definitely felt like on a windy day, if it went too far out, it might have a hard time coming back home. When I saw somebody upgraded their Avata, I'm like, oh my god, I have to do that. So I waited a few hours and the how-to video comes out on how to install the new Axis motors on the Avata. I'm like, okay. I watch it and I don't have any soldering experience, but it looks doable. So I go on the website and order 4 motors. While I was waiting for the motors to ship from China, I did a bunch of research on how to upgrade the motors and how soldering actually works. I didn't have any experience, so I wanted to learn as much as I could before attempting the upgrade. And when the motors came, I asked my stepdad for some help. He helped me do some soldering since he soldered 3 or 4 times before. So that was the experience we were going with. I did a bunch of research, mainly watching Drone Camp's Avata upgrade video and Murder FPV Avata upgrade video. So I watched those and I took notes on every step of the way to make sure I didn't miss anything. This is my first time doing any drone DIY in general. I had to take apart the drone, the flight controller, antennas, and whatnot. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. Their commentary was really helpful about being gentle with the drone. You don't want to snap or pinch any of the wires. So it's just being very gingerly with the whole process. With the help of my stepdad, we did it. I wanted to show you guys that you too can upgrade the Avata without any soldering experience. It would just be good to get some practice in first before actually attempting it. And just getting used to how the tin flows, how it just melts. It's like little drops, just making like little drops of water, kind of like icing on a cake. Now, I was so nervous when soldering the motors onto the pads. In Justin's video, he says, don't let any of the tin accidentally connect or it could fry your circuit board.
Make sure that there's no solder bridging over to the next tab. You will absolutely fry your DJI Avata if any of these are touching.
I don't even have a way of seeing if any of the tin accidentally connected or not. Do you imagine the flying glass on? They're pretty close to each other. I was just really worried, like, damn. Like, make sure not to touch anything else or else it'd be game over. I didn't let that fear stop me. I gotta do this so I can get the most out of my Avata. I wasn't going to let the fear of failing stop me. Even though I was going to find fall colors the next day, I'm just like, dude, I can't mess up because I have to bring the Avata with me to film it. Even though if I did mess up, I still have the DJI FPV I could have brought along. But if you haven't heard, I'm doing a giveaway for the DJI FPV because I upgraded my Avata and I'll no longer be flying my FPV. So if you want to get in on the FPV action, make sure to check out the giveaway video. While I'm on the topic of giveaway, it makes me really happy seeing people's comments and all the cool places they want to take the FPV drone. It makes me really happy that I'm able to give back to the community. It's something I always wanted to do too to help people get started. If you're going into this upgrade and it's your first drone DIY, the hardest parts I had with upgrading the Avata was picking off the glue when it came to removing the flight controller. Because DJI doesn't want any random person to go in and messing with the flight controller, they put some glue on one of the screws to stop you from doing that. So I had to pick it all out first before I was actually able to unscrew it. And I would say just finish picking all of it, make sure it's clean before you start trying to unscrew it. Or else if you leave part of the glue in while you try to unscrew it, you might strip the screw and you'll have an even harder time. And then after that, removing the flight controllers, you have that pins that you have to take off. That was a challenge, but it's pretty straightforward. They're just connected together and you have to remove it. If you haven't removed one of those before, you might find it a little difficult. Of course, the soldering itself. If you never soldered before and you're not used to how the tin flows, then gotta get used to it. Get some practice in before you actually try to do it. As long as I practice, then I should be okay. But I skipped it because my stepdad already has some soldering experience. If you're not working with anyone that has experience, definitely get some practice in. Just find a pad and a wire, strip it, and just solder them together. If you're able to do that, then you should be good to go. I'll leave the links of the videos that I watched before that gave me an understanding of how soldering works. That way, once you get a visual idea, then you know what you're supposed to be doing with the soldering iron. I was so happy that I was able to get the Avata upgraded. That way I could bring it to Tahoe and the Eastern Sierras and get some really cool footage of the fall colors. It was a little windy during that time, so if I didn't have the upgraded motors, I would have a hard time getting out there and getting the shots. And especially because it's FPV, people kind of expect the FPV to go fast. The stronger motors helps out a lot. Before that, I'd just be cruising around like a cine whoop. It's cool and all, but people just like going fast. They want the thrill. So if you feel like you're stuck in a rut, stuck in a loop, and you want to break out of it and go on an adventure, or just follow me on mine, the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.